guys. Hello. Hi. For some reason, it shows that there is no one in here, but I see Bjorn, Carolyn, and Niels. So there must be... Oh, wow. There are 17 of you already. Hi. Hello, everybody. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene was right, and space lasers do exist. Well, no, they're not space lasers, but they're UK lasers. They're lasers from Great Britain, from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Nick. Hi, Glacian. Hi, everybody. But yes, as you might have guessed from today's thumbnail on YouTube, we are going to be talking about lasers. We're going to be talking about lasers. And many more things. Not quite Marjorie Taylor Greene specific lasers, but, you know, lasers that have been made in the UK. Oh, hi, William. Hello, I did not forget. Is there any way you can send that information? What particular information do you need? Yes, I would... I happily will, but what information? And thank you very, very much. Jewish space lasers. Yes, they're not Jewish space lasers. They're UK-developed lasers, and they are lasers that can work fantastically for air defense. And we will be discussing them and much, 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 much more. Well, not much more, but much more. An email. Yes, I can do Grumpy. Could I ask you for a favor? Could you go to my live on TikTok and respond to William with my PayPal? Because if I touch my screen right now and pick up my phone, I can't do that. Not the Joey live, my live. Strange twitching sound. Twitching sound. How about now? There's twitching sound still? Thank you. I had some difficulty last night. PayPal was glitching last night. So it turns out, because today it was glitching, still. Interesting. Okay, well, let me try this. Maybe this will work. How about now? Do you still hear the twitching sound? Oh, so it's on YouTube, not on... I'm driving, but I'm listening. Still, okay, 1 second. Nothing wrong here. Yes, TikTok shouldn't have any difficulties. YouTube, however, might have sputtering static sound. Okay, just 1 second. I will try to fix it because I'll do directional. How about now? It might be better now. I don't hear anything strange. Yes. Nothing on Я практикую мову українську. Oh, that's awesome, Hugh. Also, I'm so sorry. I'm like so distracted because there's so many things happening, right? Well, so from like the, you know, since we catch up about random things in the beginning of every stream, hi, I'm Yulia. For those of you who are on Joey's stream, I'm substituting for Joey because Joey is away on a cruise for 7 days with his wife. I believe we're on day 4 or 5. I'm not sure, but sounds like an ass. I do hear some distorted sound here. Okay, well, let me unmute. I muted and unmuted. Maybe if I do, okay, let me do this. I'm so sorry, guys. I will tell you everything that I was starting to talk about in a second. I just am trying to fix the sound for a second. So I'm going to, is there something going on good? Okay. Hello again, better looking female Joey. Hi. Well, I wouldn't go as far as better looking. Joey is a good looking fella, lad, man. But so, what was I gonna say? I met up with Nick again today, and Nick introduced me to this fantastic Ukrainian activist who is also a journalist. And she used to work in Ukraine, but now she is in the UK because she lives with her. She's in the UK with her fiance, who's also a very, very funny, very funny guy. Well, man, I really enjoyed their company. And she is basically, she is the person who does most of Ukraine's like she does a lot of interviews about Ukraine and stuff like that on thank you. She does a lot of interviews about Ukraine and things like that in the UK, and she basically does morning shows and reminds people about what's happening in Ukraine and stuff like that. So she's doing a lot of fantastic things, and she was really pleasant to speak to. I then realized at 9 p.m. that I need to run because I am at I need to like go to the grocery store and it's going to be closed, and I also need to do a live and things like that. I was hoping to do it at 11, but I only got home at 11, and then yada yada yada. So I ran off and I forgot to pay the bill because everything is paid by like QR codes. It's like a 300 hryvnia bill or something like that. But so it's like $10. But I was like, I felt so bad. I messaged Nick and I was like, Nick, how do I pay for this bill? Like, if you're still there, send me the link to the QR code to pay it. And he had already posted what's its face? He had already posted like a mocking, funny Twitter post being like, well, she ran off without paying a bill and somehow I still trust her. And I like laughed at it so much. I was like, I tried to message you and everybody else. People like to write us off, but Britain's leads in Ukraine. Well, Britain does do a lot of fantastic things for Ukraine, and Britain does like genuinely. What I love about we were talking with my aunt today. I remember my aunt Anastasia. She is a fantastic person because in general, why am I glitching so much today? Anyways, Anastasia is great. She's lived in the UK for a very long time. And so we were just talking about the lasers, right? And the funniest thing is, so she has this friend, Alex. They've been very good friends since college. Alex is great. And he's been telling her about the UK testing these like lasers for the past like 6 months. And Anastasia is like, it sounds like some yellow press thing. What lasers? What freaking lasers are you talking about? And he's like, no, they're real lasers, and she's been like making fun of him as a friend because like he keeps talking about lasers. She's like, Alex, are you okay? And so anyways, the lasers are now potentially being sent to Ukraine. And we were talking with her and we were like, it's great that the UK is sending these lasers because they could not care less whether we use these lasers in Russia, at Russia, for Russia, like behind Russia, in front of Russia, on Russians. Like literally the UK just does not give the slightest I miss a message from William, because I think you might have asked something and I didn't see it and I forgot because I was answering 55 questions. Hello, mate. Hi, hello. They're sending the lasers to Ukraine. They're considering sending the lasers to Ukraine because so by 2027 they want to put the lasers on all of their Navy ships. And what's the best testing ground for the lasers if not Ukraine? Because here you can actually test the lasers on actual targets, not just in practice. Oh, I'll tell you. I will tell you in a second. Actually, I went to Signal. So we were at 500 and 70 by the end of the live yesterday. Ukraine would be the perfect testing ground for many new weapon systems. Yeah, Ukraine is, well, that's kind of what a lot of countries are doing. So we raised 570. No, sorry. We raised 470 yesterday, and then I received, so I miscalculated because in the beginning of the stream, or like midway through the stream, Mark told me that he sent $20, and I asked if he had done that early in the stream or just then, and I didn't get a response, so I counted another $20, but it was like basically 550. And then I received 2 more donations that evened it out back to 500, like 500, 480 is where we were, is what we were at in the by the end of the stream, I believe. I hope that you, yeah, $480 is what we were at. I hope the US gets on the ball and gets the aid pushed out. I do too. Very much so. I think everybody hopes that that will be the case, but we're dealing with the US, so we don't know. I think if the aid doesn't pass in the next couple of days, it's in the next couple of weeks, or like, I don't know, by midsummer, if it doesn't pass, then we have no chance. Thank you, Leanne. We have no chance at getting the aid because the closer it gets to the presidential election, the less of a chance there is. And with how Republicans and Democrats are fighting and how Republicans are infighting and how things are happening, I just don't see it happening. Why did she go from talking about the war to we had 515 mid-sentence? Because someone asked me in a different chat, and I responded to that question because I'm currently on YouTube, on Joey's page, and then on my own page. And so it's a little hard because I'm reading 3 sets of comments. Then are you Ukrainian? Yes, I am Ukrainian, born and raised, and I am in Ukraine. JD Vance got cooked in the New York Times comments today. Wait, does Ukraine require you to denounce citizenship, or can an American have dual citizenship? Thank you, Niels. Thank you for being a member on YouTube for 2 months. Ukraine, well, right now Ukraine doesn't allow for dual citizenship, but that law is going to change at some point very soon. Dobry wieczór. Because Ukraine does not allow for a dual citizenship right now, but there is a bill being brought to the table to change that, because there are lots of foreign fighters fighting in Ukraine, and they do want a Ukrainian citizenship, but they of course don't want to give up their Western citizenship, especially with how uncertain times are here. So yeah. Right now, it's not. You do have to change your citizenship. You do have to like denounce your previous citizenship if you want to get a Ukrainian one. She just needs to take a breath. Not criticizing, just seems a little wound up is all, ma'am. No, I'm just reading 3 sets of different comments, and I'm ADHD as hell. That's why if I'm not focusing on one thing and I'm getting like distracted by 3, it's hard for me to sort of form my thoughts. Americans can have dual citizenship, I think. Yes, Americans can. Ukrainians cannot, but technically a lot of Ukrainians. So here's what most Ukrainians do. There is no procedure of taking away your Ukrainian citizenship by the government unless you are a treasoner. So in that case, they can take it away. And treason is, it's like selling secrets to foreign countries, like the things that some politicians were doing in the beginning of the full-scale invasion, and sometimes today as well. So for that reason, your Ukrainian citizenship can be taken away. But technically, you're supposed to report your new citizenship to Ukraine and denounce your Ukrainian citizenship if you are getting a new one. But a lot of Ukrainians who move to the United States get an American citizenship because America allows for dual, and then just don't don't denounce their Ukrainian citizenship, and they just keep both kind of in secret. But if you are a foreigner and you come to Ukraine and you're trying to get a Ukrainian citizenship, obviously they know that you have another citizenship, so then you would have to denounce yours. But again, I don't think they're going to be doing that anymore, and they are going to be and they're going to be changing that rule, because obviously there are a lot of foreigners that want the citizenship but don't want to denounce theirs. I'm assuming you have a Ukrainian citizenship. Yes, I am a Ukrainian person born and raised and a Ukrainian citizen, and that's my citizenship. I don't have any other citizenships. Don't they have to report it when getting a new passport? Do they lie? They just don't report it, and that's all it is. When Ukraine get back a lot of their occupied territories, will it be a bureaucratic nightmare with the number of Ukrainians that were forced to take a Russian citizenship? Yes. One of the topics that's honestly the hardest in the Ukrainian society right now is how we're going to reintegrate occupied territories, and how we're going to weed out the people that were actually collaborators with Russia, who were selling state secrets, who were helping Russia, how we're going to be weeding out the people that were just living in occupation, especially for those territories that have been occupied since 2014. Crimea is going to be a huge mess. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're, that's kind of an answer that our politicians are working on, that is going to be very hard to answer, and there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a huge learning curve. It's clearly a very huge reintegration process, and also, yes, getting Ukrainian citizens back from Russia, as we know, is a very difficult thing. Was a very difficult thing, is a very, very difficult thing right now, and is likely going to keep getting more difficult. How did you learn such good English from Ukraine? Do you speak Ukrainian or Russian? I speak Ukrainian, and I've lived in the US for a while, and I speak English since I was 4, not because I've lived in the US. I did not move to the US until I was 16. I was but I speak English since I was a kid. I learned it here from a native speaker. How did I learn such English? Well, so how did you learn such good English is not actually a correct way of saying it. It's how did you learn English so well? Hi, Yana. And it's because I speak it since I was a kid. And I don't know, because it just so happened. I don't know what to tell you. I just speak English. I'm honestly, I get this question every day, I think, and I understand why I get it every day, but at the same time, I'm so tired of it, and I'm so tired of answering it. It's just, I just speak English. I don't know what else to tell you, to be honest. So that's just it. Do you give English lessons? My English sucks, says John. No, I don't give English lessons, and you're a native speaker, so no. Hi, Antelepes. Glad that's what it is. Too much anti-British shit on YouTube lately. Oh, I don't have any anti-British sentiment. I love the UK. I mean, I understand why Irish people have an anti-British sentiment, but I personally don't have one. I used to go to summer school in the UK multiple years in a row in Kent, in Broadstairs. And I absolutely loved it. Anastasia, my aunt, studied in the UK for the longest time. Hi, there is someone from Ireland here, which is actually, which is so funny. So there's someone from Ireland on my TikTok, and so Grumpy lives in Newfoundland, and he knows a lot of Irish slang. I don't, and Irish slang is very different from English in general. And so the other day I was joking and saying to someone that I am a magnet for psychotic men, and they had described themselves as a skeet. And said that there is a difference. And I was, first of all, they misspelled it. And I was like, oh, hi, Ireland. Oh, there is more Ireland here. Hello. And I was like, skit, like a comedy skit. And then I was like thinking to myself, you know what? Since I have no idea what this could have been even, I should probably ask Grumpy because Grumpy would know. So I asked a couple of my American friends and I was like, do you know what a skit or a skeet is as a reference to yourself? And they were like, skit? Like a comedy skit? No. Skeet? Like, what's a skeet? And I was like, I don't know. And so today I'm talking to Grumpy, who's from Newfoundland. And if you didn't know, people from Newfoundland are mostly Irish by descent, and they speak a lot of like Irish slang. And Grumpy was like, "Oh, a skeet? Yeah, it's a low class bastard." And I was like, "How did I know that you would be like that? You would be like." You would be the perfect person to go to who would know what a random Irish word is. I'm from Newfoundland. Oh, cool. I hear skeet, I think of the submunition. No, see, like skeets are my people. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like anytime I hear anything that could be remotely related to like a word that will be used in Ireland and nowhere else, I know that there is another place where it's definitely used, and that's Newfoundland. And I immediately dial up Grumpy and I'm like, hello, can you please translate from this to English for me, please? But yeah, hi Juju. Hi, oh, hi Lawrence. My mom fought us tooth and nail that she was English because she was born in England. Wrong. Yeah, it's kind of like, the other day I was giving an interview and the interviewer, who's my friend, he was like, "So you're a Ukrainian American, right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm Ukrainian." And he's like, "Oh, but like when I talk to you, like you seem so American to me. Like I feel like you are Ukrainian American and you've lived there for 13 years." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. I mean, like I'm very American presenting, but I'm not American. I'm Ukrainian. I was born and raised here." And he was like, "Well, if you get an American citizenship, are you going to say you're a Ukrainian American?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going to still be a Ukrainian in America." Like, or a Ukrainian with an American citizenship. But like, I think that Ukrainian American to me means like you were either born in the US or you like moved there with your parents when you were 3, right? But like I'm very Americanized. I'm not American though. So yeah. Hello from New Zealand. Hi. Oh, it's so cool to know where everyone. I have no idea what a skit is, and I'm Irish. So first of all, you're misspelling it too. It's not a skit. It's a skeet. They misspelled it. It's an SKEET, and it's apparently a low class bastard. And I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm saying that that's what I was told that it is. Hi, Naomi. So yeah, so I can't really vouch for that, but I guess Grumpy will vouch for that. So, so there's that. Usually found at carnivals and Dave and Buster's. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, to be fair, Dave and Buster's. Does Dave and Buster's still exist? I can't believe that it does. My grandparents are from Crimea. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, but it's really cool to learn where everyone is from, especially considering like time zones and and things like that. On a different note, I really hope that there are not going to be any like air raid sirens tonight because I'm really not prepared. Also, next week, Anastasia, my aunt that you know and love, well, and hopefully love, she's visiting me for Saturday and part of Sunday. And so I'm really excited for her to be here because it's, it's exciting, and you guys are going to get to see her on a live because I'm going to ask her to join us. There's still a D and B where I live. Oh, Dave and Buster's. You're in Ukraine? Yes, I am in Ukraine. Sorry, so I bit my cheek. Привет. I bit my cheek from the inside, and it's really like bothering me. So I'm going to probably be drinking quite a bit of liquid during this live because right here it just keeps like getting on my nerves. I do that. Yeah, I do that sometimes. And also, someone was asking earlier if they missed photos of Liv earlier yesterday at the end of the live, and yes, they did. On vacation, or you moved back? I moved back. I currently live in Kyiv, Ukraine. Also, I'm in central Illinois. I came to Ukraine in 2014 to meet my Ukrainian lady. Nice. Hi, all. Just stopping by to say fuck Mike Johnson and former President Mushroom PP McDiaper Wipe. Oh my God. That's a very loaded one, but I do agree with all of these statements. So, yes. Also, so I am going to fill you guys in on what I was talking on what the fundraiser was about yesterday. So I started a fundraiser for something that I need, and I feel quite bad about it, especially because also I'm on Joey's live. So if you're on Joey's live, please don't feel pressured at all. But because Russia has been hitting power plants in Ukraine, I've been I would like to purchase one of those Bluetti or EcoFlow batteries that charge your devices and like let you use your kettle if you have a rolling blackout and you have no electricity, and things like that. And I know, is Joey a close friend of yours? Yes. He is. So, yeah, EcoFlow Magda, EcoFlow and Bluetti are basically, they're the same. They're pretty much the same device. They have, it depends on like stock, right? So, they're EcoFlow. I mean, I use them interchangeably to be honest, but EcoFlow and Bluetti are pretty much the same thing. So, there is a video on my TikTok as well, Vasily. So I opened a fundraiser that's almost halfway there, and the fundraiser is for an EcoFlow or a Bluetti device. Because that's a device that would let me use like a kettle and a hair dryer and like, a coffee machine and charge my computer and like, use electricity in case there is a rolling blackout, which they are. It looks like this summer we are going to have quite a bit of them. So one of these devices, a reasonable one, is about $1,000. Well, depending on the store, like from 1,000 to 1,200, but like I'm aiming for 1,000, and we are at like $480. So if you would like to contribute to the fundraiser for this device. Don't use Bluetti, it's Chinese made. So I do prefer an EcoFlow. I found an EcoFlow that I really like, and that everybody that I've talked to who's lived through blackouts told me would be like a great one for me. So if you would like to contribute, you could go to my link in bio, and my PayPal and Venmo and Revolut are all there. If you're on TikTok, on my TikTok is YEWLEEA. And if you are on YouTube, Grumpy just posted the link. So if you would like to contribute, and if you would like to help me raise the amount to buy this battery, or it's kind of like, it's not a power generator, but it kind of is, because to be fair, it charges from solar, and it does, from what I've read, like it provides you electricity for almost a whole day if you charge it to the brim and you don't use it for like, for a fridge. So yeah, so it's a pretty good one, and it would let me use electricity when there is no electricity, basically. So yes, if you would like to contribute, there is a link in my bio. It's beacons.ai on TikTok, and if you're on YouTube, Grumpy just posted my PayPal and EcoFlow is great. Yeah, that's what everyone keeps telling me. I mean, like here in Ukraine, people use both. To be fair, so yeah. Hello everyone, but yes, but I've been recommended EcoFlow. Generators are cheaper but noisy as hell. So I live in an apartment, so there is no chance that I can put up a generator anywhere. So it would have to be like a power. It would have to be a power generator. It would have to be like an EcoFlow, and generators are also really big. And I also do not have like outdoor space, and I live in an apartment building on like a pretty high floor. There wasn't a choice. It's not like I was looking for a high floor, but it's just I could not have one of those like gas generators by any means. Okay, well, let's start with the news, and I will update you on the fundraiser as the funds come in, I suppose. In the first 3 months of this year, Russian liquefied natural gas deliveries to France grew more than to any country in the EU compared to last year. Overall, France has paid the Kremlin over 600 million euro for gas supplies since the beginning of the year. It cannot be that France, on the one hand, says that we have to be harsh with Russia, and on the other hand, is paying them off with big money, said a diplomat from one EU country who requested anonymity. And I agree with that. That's the thing. It's like French companies are not exiting Russia, but Macron wakes up, finally seems to have woken up, and is talking about, big aid to Ukraine, is pushing other politicians for big aid to Ukraine, and it's a whole thing. While French companies are not exiting Russia, and while French companies and while France is buying all of this gas from Russia. Also, we just got our first donation for tonight, which brings us to $500 raised total. So that's awesome. We are at $500 for the generator. I do. It's the same as my it's the same as my as this. It's the same as my TikTok. Okay, one sec. Oh my God. Lithuania will transfer equipment for the restoration of energy infrastructure to Ukraine. Lithuanian Energy Minister Dainius Kreivis. I know that Taz is going to have an opinion on this. He said that the equipment will be sourced from the currently inactive Vilnius heat plant, as well as from the Ignalina NPP and warehouses of energy companies. In addition, a large transformer will be supplied. We will give them everything they need. In Kharkiv, 80% of the entire network, both heat and electricity, has been destroyed. If we don't help, Ukrainians will not be able to restore the grid and heating sector before winter, said Kreivis. Yeah, I think that's what I said. I think that's what I said, Taz. Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda, am I saying it right? Clarified that Lithuania cannot provide Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine because the country does not possess such systems. Nausėda explained that Lithuania received one system from the Netherlands for temporary training purposes. They are ready to donate everything. We are ready to donate everything we have, and we do it all the time. To be honest, it's getting harder and harder to find things to donate because we are running out of funds. So we contributed to the Czech initiative. Believe me, we are doing everything in our power. Polish President Andrzej Duda echoed Nausėda's statement, noting that Poland also does not possess Patriot air defense systems. Duda mentioned that Poland is in the initial stages of acquiring these systems. Both leaders highlighted that Ukraine's acquisition of the Patriot system depends on the political will of the countries that own these air defense systems. So that's oh, wait. That's the thing, Lithuania gives us everything it can and can't give us. Literally, Lithuania gives us everything. And when they say that they're running out of things to give, they truly mean it, because they've given us everything that they've been giving us everything, no questions asked, everything that we need, and we have been getting from Lithuania. Lithuania gives us so much. So much of what they have in proportion to their GDP and in proportion to like their military budgets, that it's not even funny. But the thing is, Lithuania is a small country and their military capabilities are not huge. The UK gives us a lot. But at the same time, everyone in the EU, like large countries with large military powers, like, Germany and France and others, they can afford to give us a lot more. And small countries like Lithuania, like Latvia, like Estonia are already giving us like so much of what they have, but it's never going to be enough to stand up to Russia, because they simply just don't have, they don't have enough. Lithuania is a country of 2.7 million people, and Lithuanians organize a fundraiser every year where they raise like millions. I mean, 13, 15 million euros for Ukraine, for radar systems or for kits for soldiers. Blue Yellow in Lithuania is a foundation that helps Ukraine tremendously. Lithuania does so much, genuinely. Also, we got a donation of $40 and $10.20, which brings us to $550.20. So thank you. Sorry. Also, let there be light in Ukraine. Wait, okay. Yulia with the live. Yeah, hi. I'm live on Joey's. And the New York Times reports that the generation of men under 30 in Ukraine is the smallest in the country's entire history of independence. This demographic trend poses a threat to mobilization efforts. The newspaper suggests that lowering the conscription age for men from 27 to 25 could exacerbate the decline in this generation. Yes, I did, Magda. $25, which brings us to 550.20, 575.20. Let me just $575.20 is what we're at. Thank you. Yeah, it's a really saddening statistic. I mean, the thing is, we are lowering the mobilization age because it needs to be done. But yes, a generation of men under 30 in Ukraine is really, really small, because a lot of kids who were 17 or 16 left Ukraine because they were scared that they would be 18 by the time that, they will become 18 at some point and they will not be able to leave. So they left, especially like a lot of 17-and-a-half-year-olds and stuff like that, And a lot of men under 30 have been killed in action at the front line. So there is a really, really, really big issue with that demographic here. It's really sad. The self-proclaimed president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, asserted that a peace conference on Ukraine in Switzerland without the involvement of Russia would only lead to further escalation. I swear, if a Western country says further escalation once again, I will probably have smoke coming out of my ears, because it's just so ludicrous on so many different levels. First of all, Russia doesn't want peace by any means. If Russia keeps attacking Ukraine and civilian infrastructure in Ukraine, Russia keeps attacking our power plants, Russia keeps trying to leave us without electricity for the winter, Russia keeps trying to just destroy the ability of Ukrainians to live a life in general. Russia is not interested in peace. What kind of peace talks could you have Russia in if Russia is interested in conquering Ukraine? What peace talks? It's not like two countries are against each other because they have a conflict. No, Russia came in and invaded us. What peace talks? Foreign Minister Kuleba, during Ukrainian-Slovak government consultations in Mikhailivtsi, highlighted that the absence of modern Patriot air defense systems contributed to the destruction of the Tripilska thermal power plant near Kyiv by Russian forces. Oh, thank you, Jedamam. The Ukrainian pilots training on F-16s in Denmark and the United States are already in the final stages of preparations, Ukrainian Air Force spokesman noted. The pilots are practicing the tasks they will perform in Ukraine, including shooting down cruise missiles and Shahed 131, 136 UAVs. It's also interesting because we say Shahed and I see Shahid everywhere else, but yeah, they're Shaheds. I agree. Yeah, that's a good way to go about it, Grumpy. Oh, thank you, Intellipiece. That's a good way to go about it, Grumpy. I just don't think I can read that. The newest Russian electronic warfare system, R-340RP Pol 21, was destroyed. The system has been supplied to the occupying army since 2016 and is designed to jam satellite navigation channels. However, after an encounter with a drone of the border guards of the Steel Frontier Offensive Guard, the equipment's functions were modernized. Let me just do this because I want you to be able to see it like more full screen, I suppose, which, because this is not necessary. Oh, there we go. This is much better. Much better. Doug, the one that I'm hoping on the power generator or the battery that I'm hoping on getting will handle a kettle. So I don't know anything about these things, but my friends do, and my aunt does, Anastasia does, and my friend Wikipedia does, and both of them have given me their recommendations. Anastasia actually has a more powerful one than I'm hoping to get, which she thinks is a better option, but it's also way more, not way more expensive, but it's $500 more expensive. So, I think the one that I am not the tumble dryer, the one that we were talking about since yesterday should suffice. Anyways, Ambassador Bridget Brink announced that the U.S. will provide Ukraine with $138 million for the modernization of its air defense capabilities. Yeah, because modernizing our air defense capabilities is really going to help without air defense shells, right? Without air defense missiles and without air defense yeah, that'll really help. Additionally, the U.S. State Department recently authorized the sale of Hawk Phase 3 sustainment missile system and related logistics and program support components to Ukraine within this budget. Everyone who argue Ukraine should give up land to people should go live in the occupied territories and see firsthand what genocide looks like. Because the end of the war won't end that. Yeah, that's what I always say. It's like, the thing is, territories are people, and it's not that we just want to return the territories, which we have the full right to do because they're our territories to begin with. But hi, Christina. But it's about the people, and about the people who live there and who suffer and who are being tortured, and it's territories are people. And people live in those territories. It's someone's home. It's where people had their memories, and someone just came in and stole it because they could. And that's not okay. And because they decided they're entitled to this home. Hi, Yulia. Have you had a good day today? Yeah, a decent one. A pretty decent one. Besides, we are at $575.20 for the fundraiser for the EcoFlow battery for when for if there will be blackouts in Kyiv, which are almost guaranteed to happen because Russia is targeting Ukraine's infrastructure like that, and so I am just scared that I will be left with no electricity, and that's not fun. How much left? So, oh, hi, Michigan. 1 second. Sorry. I want to show you a picture. In World War II, the Allies bombed Nazi Germany's oil depots as a high priority military target. That's the tweet. And this Gabrielius Landsbergis, Taz, don't kill me. So this is what the Allies did. So this echoes the conversation that the United States is having, saying that they're frustrated with Ukraine bombing, Russia's oil refineries, which should be completely normal because we are left stranded by the US. Russia makes money off of its oil facilities. The oil facilities are owned by the oligarchs from the Putin's regime. So they're Russian government regime owned, and that's what supplies the military. And somehow Ukrainians are not justified in bombing the refineries. Let me just say that the US is bombing ISIS oil refineries, and that's okay. And the US also says that they're seeing much progress in doing so. And Ukraine can't do that. So Russia is allowed to bomb our actual civilian infrastructure, like nuclear power plants, not stuff that sponsors the war by any means. Thank you, Truthful. But stuff that gives us electricity and an ability to live. And we are somehow not justified in destroying Russia's war machine. Okay, sounds about right. According to Bloomberg, the US currently lacks a plan B for military assistance to Ukraine, aside from the $60 billion aid package stalled in Congress. Hi, Joe. Unnamed American officials, as cited by the publication, suggest that European leaders should overcome delays and utilize funds from blocked Russian assets to assist Ukrainian authorities. Yeah, I'm so frustrated because as someone who is partially from the US, right? Well, not from, but have lived. I mean, here's the thing, I am, I care about the US a lot, and I care about US politics a lot because the US is also my home. And to see this happening, and to see the US destroyed, and to see the aid to Ukraine stalled, and just to see the entire horror show that's happening in the US government right now is really, it hurts me. It hurts me so much. And every single time I see just another screw up on top of a screw up on top of a screw up, or something that wasn't thought through, or something that's done that's so stupid and is going to result in people's lives, it just drives me crazy. It drives me so crazy. I don't even know how to describe this feeling because I just feel sick. Firstly, because of what might happen to the US. And secondly, because of how what's happening to it currently is affecting Ukraine and literally all of our futures. Prime Minister of Slovakia, Robert Fico, expressed Slovakia's willingness to offer significant assistance to Ukraine in demining efforts. Oh, wow. Another switch up. He made this statement during a press conference with Denis Shmyhal, Ukraine's prime minister. Fico highlighted Slovakia's readiness to collaborate with Ukraine in the military sector on a commercial basis. We discussed military cooperation, and we're offering substantial aid in demining. This involves specific demining machinery. There is considerable discussion about specialized and agricultural machinery that can be utilized for this purpose, stated FICO. That's actually interesting because Slovakia turning around and deciding that they will be helping Ukraine is quite a wild development. Deputy UN Secretary General Miroslav Yencha emphasized that the escalation of the war in Ukraine represents a direct threat to regional stability and international security. He further described it as an existential threat to the people of Ukraine, which is also the existential threat to the people of Europe because, and I've said this yesterday, I'm going to wait with kind of answering statements like that because I recently recorded an interview a couple of days ago that's going to air next week or the week after on this channel, The Gaze, Gaze, not gays as in like LGBTQIA, but The Gaze, and they and the interview was basically about differences in Ukraine and the US and kind of what it's like to be a Ukrainian who hasn't lived in Ukraine for so long and came here and sort of is like re-exploring it. But the end of it was a lot about how the generalized West doesn't understand what Russia is like and what threat it poses to everyone and what damage it had already done to so many countries, and how everybody just ignores it as like, oh, Russia is invading Ukraine. Like, Russia is choosing your leaders for you. Yes, the gays like that, like the way that Taz said it. Yeah, the Republican Party is Russia's lapdog now. It is literally what it is because the far right Republicans are nothing like what the Republican Party was like to begin with. And also, I mean, the Republic, just like since Trump became president, the Republican Party is not really like just a like conservative party anymore. No, it's like far right fascists. But yeah, so, Russia is choosing your leaders for you. Russia is installing your leaders for you. And people are literally like, oh, yeah, it's just a Ukrainian problem. While your elections are literally being decided by Putin because he invests money and bot farms into making you vote for whoever works for him. Yeah, Russia is just Ukraine's problem for sure. Yeah. The head of the Polish Foreign Ministry, Sikorski, criticized the US Congress for the prolonged delay in deciding on aid to Ukraine. He underscored that Ukraine is already facing a shortage of anti-aircraft missiles, which will exacerbate the humanitarian situation. The coordinating headquarters for the treatment of prisoners of war announced that Ukraine has repatriated the remains of 99 fallen soldiers. Specifically, 77 bodies belonged to fighters who battled in the Donetsk region, 20 were soldiers from the Zaporizhia direction, and 2 were defenders from the Kharkiv direction. After identification, the bodies of our defenders will be returned to their families for a dignified burial, the statement conveyed. And my favorite part, lasers. We have gotten to lasers. According to the Telegraph, Britain is considering the possibility of supplying DragonFire laser weapons to Ukraine. Hey, it's my favorite, Joey again. Hi. In an interview with the publication, UK Minister of Defense Grant Shapps mentioned that London intends to deploy this new revolutionary weapon in its own military by 2027. So Ukraine is a very good testing ground. However, prototypes could potentially be provided to Ukraine even sooner. Shapps stated, "There is currently a live conflict in Europe for which we have a cutting-edge modern weapon that could be beneficial. It doesn't need to be perfect for the Ukrainians to potentially receive it. While the official target date is 2027, we will explore options to expedite the process. This product is truly ahead of its time." I am going to show you a little video that I found on YouTube earlier about these lasers. So give me 1 second, possibly Mark. Joey in your basement. Oh my gosh. Dragonfly. One sec. Dragonfly laser. Okay. So, no, not two. One sec. Okay.
Weapons will soon be a familiar sight on Royal Navy ships after the MOD announced it's accelerating its £100 million laser weapons program and introducing them to the front line in 2027, 5 years ahead of schedule.
Targeting is done very, very accurately.
Schedule.
We're looking to target something about the size of a £1 coin, at X kilometers range. Once the pointing and tracking system has locked up that aim point on the target, the laser fires and the laser energy has been focused on that point. And the special thing about laser weapon systems is the ability to then hold that aim point and focus all that energy onto the target. The better you're able to do that, the faster you achieve the effect on the target as well. So you burn through the outer casing, you affect what's inside, and ultimately achieve the effect on the target that you want.
This was DragonFire in action on a test firing in the Hebrides earlier this year. And this is the damage it can do. On display at DSTL, the military's technology research centre at Porton Down, some of the targets they've tested it on, from melted drones and sheets of steel to 120mm mortar shells, the casing turned to molten metal.
Huge amount of hard work, lots of engineers, lots of DSTL scientists, and we got to the point that we demonstrated the capability. So taking raw electrical power, squeezing it down to create a laser beam, and then critically being able to target it in quite a complex environment. So it's absolutely accurate, and therefore all that power ends up on the target. It's a game changer. This is a revolutionary step in terms of capability.
From Ukraine to the Red Sea, UAVs are an increasing threat in the battle space. Off the coast of Yemen, HMS Diamond and HMS Richmond have both shot down Houthi attack drones using conventional missiles. In the future, though, that could well be a job for DragonFire.
This potentially provides us an opportunity to lower the cost per shot compared to traditional interceptor missiles, which are sophisticated, and that allows us to retain those more sophisticated missiles for the more challenging threats we face. One of the constraints we face is the size of the silo on a ship. That limits the number of missiles that we can carry, whereas
How many
a weapon
megawatts?
system like Laser provides an unlimited intercept opportunity at potentially much lower cost as well.
Research into the military applications of laser technology go back to the 1980s. And of course, the UK isn't the only one doing this. This was the US Navy ship USS Portland back in 2020, using a 150 kilowatt laser to take down a drone. The UK has played catch up, but has now become a world leader in this technology.
The big step change, which has enabled us to do this, is actually in the laser source itself, where we generate the laser. We are now getting up to these very high powers, and the techniques to actually enable you to have a very high power and high quality beam, because you need both to defeat a target. And it's how you join those create that beam in the first place, and then it comes out through the aperture on the beam director. It's reflected off the target, and we use the far aperture there to actually analyze the return, to play games with or fine tune that output beam, which now makes it a much more effective and more relevant weapon for the Navy and the Army.
In the years ahead, like all tech, DragonFire is likely to become more compact and enter use with the Army and the RAF. The decision to accelerate delivery, says the MOD, has been made possible by its new, more streamlined procurement model. A system it promises will, in future, deliver weapons like DragonFire to the front line much faster. Simon Newton, Forces News, Porton Down.
So yeah, those are the lasers that the UK is considering giving to Ukraine, which would be incredibly helpful for our air defense and would shoot down drones with way more ease, and also shoot down missiles with way more ease. And that would be honestly a game changer for our air defense. Also, to everyone who is on here on Joey's page, hi, I'm Yulia. I'm substituting for Joey. So if you would like to, Joey does fantastic videos. He's on vacation for 7 days. I am on his account now, and he will be back in a couple of days. And he doesn't normally do lives every night. I do. So if you would like to keep up with lives, I highly suggest that you follow me as well. And that's, that will be fantastic. my TikTok or YouTube is YEWLEEA, and that's where I am almost every night. Russia will use up its stocks of old tanks and combat vehicles by mid-2025, according to Forbes. Russian industry produces 500 to 600 new tanks and maybe a little more than 1,000 new fighting vehicles every year. The Russian military loses more than 1,000 tanks and close to 2,000 fighting vehicles every year, and the loss rate is increasing, the article states. They added that there is a gap, one the Kremlin fills by pulling out of long-term storage tanks and fighting vehicles dating back to 1970s, or even 60s or 50s in some cases. But these old vehicles are a finite resource. Built during the Soviet Union's industrial heyday, they cannot be replaced with new production. Aw, sad. 2 former Royal Navy mine hunter ships, which have been handed over to the Ukrainian Navy, have arrived in Portsmouth. They will be used for crew training, Portsmouth News. The Sandown-class warships, HMS Grimsby and HMS Shoreham, were decommissioned from the Royal Navy to be transferred to the Ukrainian military, where they will operate under the names Chernihiv and Cherkasy. The ships served more than 20 years in the Royal Navy. A Minister of Defense spokesman said, the ships are currently not able to enter the Black Sea due to the terms of the Montreux Convention, which restricts passage of military vessels through the Bosphorus Strait at times of war. However, they will form a critical capability for Ukraine in its future defense of its coastlines as the UK looks to support the longer-term capabilities of the Ukrainian Navy, while they look to protect commercial shipping by detecting and disabling sea mines. British Defense Secretary Grant Shapps pointed out that the transfer of the minesweepers and the training of the Ukrainian crew will have a long-term impact on Ukraine's ability to defend its waters. Canada and France. Ukraine is the one to decide how to defend itself. We believe that it is up to Ukraine to decide how to defend itself and protect its people. Canada and France will continue their support bilaterally and through all international organizations we are members of. Thank you, DW. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and French Prime Minister Gabriel Attal said in a statement following their meeting. The Prime Minister stressed that they would continue to provide Ukraine with financial, humanitarian, military, and diplomatic support for as long as needed. The Netherlands has allocated another €1 billion for military aid to Ukraine and €400 million for reconstruction, Volodymyr Zelensky said following a conversation with Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte. And Ukraine has opened an embassy of Ukraine in the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire. The Ivorian delegation assured of its unwavering support for Ukraine in the war against Russia. That's actually a very big step because Ukraine is one of our weaknesses is our relationship with the continent of Africa. We have really, really failed our diplomacy there, at least until now. German people are more and more afraid of war in Europe and are becoming more in favor of military support for Ukraine, according to a poll by ZDF's Politbarometer. Every 10th German expects Ukraine to win the war. 82% of respondents are skeptical that Ukraine will be able to win the war with the support of Western arms. In August, 70% thought so. The number of people who are very concerned about a military conflict in Europe in which the Bundeswehr would have to participate is 53%, compared to 39% in November. In this regard, 70% of respondents support an increase in funding for the German armed forces, even if it means cutting back on some expenses. Thank you. The share of those who support increased military assistance to Ukraine has also risen. US general calls Russia a chronic threat to the US and urges helping Ukraine. Yes! Thank you. The Supreme Allied Commander of Europe, General Christopher Cavoli, believes that providing the necessary assistance, primarily artillery ammunition, is the key to Ukraine's victory in the war. He's confident that Ukraine can win the war if it has the right level of ammunition supply, because Ukrainians have skill and determination. And that's why we keep saying, it's like, look at what we were able to do with barely anything. Imagine supplying us with the things we actually need and what we can do. Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, also emphasized the need to help Ukraine in response to Russia's recent attacks on the Ukrainian energy industry. Kuleba stated that negotiations are underway for the acquisition of 2 Patriot batteries and 1 SAM-T system to bolster Ukrainian air defense. He highlighted that the decision to supply Patriot batteries rests with the United States, as it is an American system. The SAM-T Mamba is Europe's inaugural long-range anti-missile system, capable of targeting enemy aircraft within the range of 3 to 100 kilometers and ballistic missiles within a range of 3 to 25 kilometers with an attack altitude of up to 25 kilometers. Uzhhorod is set to become the first regional center in Ukraine to be connected to Europe via Eurogauge railways, or gauge. The initial links for the new Eurogauge railway from Chop to Uzhhorod have been laid, with full-scale construction scheduled to commence in May, as announced by Prime Minister Shmyhal. Hi, Martin! Once completed, this railway will enable direct rail connections between Uzhhorod and major European cities such as Vienna, Bratislava, Košice, Budapest, Prague, Bucharest, Dresden, and Belgrade. The project, with a total cost of 1.3 billion hryvnias, will receive 50% grant co-financing from the EU Connecting Europe facility. The expected duration for project completion is 14 months. Additionally, similar projects are planned for implementation from Lviv and Chernivtsi in the future. So that, European railways are, or rail width is different than the width of the rails in Ukraine. So that's why some trains, or most trains, cannot run from Ukraine to Europe, because they don't fit on the tracks, basically, because the track is different. And so this is modernizing the track so that Ukraine could be connected like that from multiple different cities to Europe. Ukrainian mine hunters are set to participate in international exercises in Great Britain. 2 minesweepers from the naval forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, which were transferred to Ukraine by Great Britain in 2022, have arrived at the Royal Navy base in Portsmouth, England, where joint exercises are scheduled. The minesweepers, named Chernihiv and Cherkasy, were acquired by the National Navy from Great Britain in 2022. And means Russian trains can't use those rails. Yes. Це ви для Укррадіо озвучували. Якого Укррадіо? Ні, я озвучую United 24, я озвучую декілька проєктів, але я не знаю, що таке Укррадіо. Why are you on Joey's page? Because he asked me to be here. Well, obviously, because I kidnapped him and he's in my basement and I'm using his page. Oh, thank you, Bulldog Mom. Aw, I feel for that. I have a little sausage here myself. So our fundraiser for an EcoFlow, which is a system that helps you be able to stay powered in electricity outages, is at 575.20. And if you would like to donate for the EcoFlow, you can do so. You can do so through my PayPal or Venmo or Revolut, and you can find those in my link in bio, which is on my profile, literally right under my profile picture. If you're on Joey's page, first of all, please don't feel pressured, because I don't want to use Joey's page for that. But if you do feel like you would like to contribute in some way, my page is YEWLEEA, and that's where I am every night. And on TikTok and on YouTube, you can use the link that Grumpy has been posting, and that's on the screen, and it's right over there somewhere, right here, I think. So yeah, Ні, я не знаю, що перший канал українського радіо, але я не знаю, що це, і я ніколи, я не озвучувала, ні. Yewleea, yeah, right. But yes, other than that, right now we are at that amount, unless I missed something during the live. Also, PayPal was glitching this morning and it wouldn't show me my balance. And it seems like it stopped glitching now. So if I missed something and it came in, last night and I didn't see it or something like that, then I will count it in by tomorrow's live. Actually, PayPal has been having a lot of problems yesterday, and it was like not showing my balance. It was like not, it was not refreshing and stuff like that. So I'm sure that I'm not the only one who's been having these problems. So yes, that's what we are at the moment. We are $75 more, a little over that, but we were able to raise. Have you had any problems with Venmo? I don't think so. Oh, another one. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jill. So actually we're at 585. You're not the only one. Yeah. You're not the only one. No, actually that was you're not the only one. Yeah, that's not the right melody there, but I don't remember the song that well, so I'm sorry for that awful take. Staring at the sun. But yeah, so PayPal was having issues yesterday and part of today, and yeah, so but yes, if you'd like to contribute, I will be incredibly grateful. We're at 585.20. If I missed anything, then I will fix that by tomorrow's live, because genuinely PayPal has been acting a little weird. Yeah, keep your day job. At least Cine doesn't react to singing. Oh no, Cine, I used to make up songs for Cine, and I would like take popular songs and then I would substitute the words with like things that make more sense, things that make more sense for Cine. And I would basically sing like ridiculous stuff to her with like melodies that from popular songs. So yes. I'm now interested. Wait, how does that song go? Like you're not the only one. Ah, crap. I'm going to have to listen to it when I'm done with the live. Mr. Fox, Odin still wants you to have two. Well, Odin, two echo flows are a lot of money, like a lot of money. It's twice as much money. It would make more sense to get just a more powerful echo flow. That would be $1,500 in that case. So that would be not $1,000 more, but $500 more. The pro-Russian population will be deported to Russia because they have Russian passports, and most of the pro-Russian population are actually Russians that have been moved there. Can we buy you a nuclear power plant? Ooh. Fundraise for 6 echo flows. I don't need 6 echo flows. Oh, I'm having like a very weird, not a headache, but it was like a very weird feeling over here in my temple. It was very weird. I would like a nuclear power plant. Actually, no, I would not like a nuclear power plant right now. Because a nuclear power plant is probably a lot of work, and also they will get hit, So no, I would not like a nuclear power plant. Why buy one if you can buy two at twice the price? Well, so there is an EcoFlow that's twice as powerful as the EcoFlow that I'm hoping to buy, and it's so this one is 1,000, that one is 1,500. Buying two separate EcoFlows is 2,000, but also the one for 1,000 should be like, should be good. Oh, okay, so we are at $600.20 because Frank just donated, and thank you for that. Hydroelectricity, then it's settled. Yeah, so hydroelectric power plants also get targeted all the time. So, які можна збагатити. Це ви мене так в Кіровоград це ви мене так в Кропивницький запрошуєте, чи що? That's how Americans think. Unexpected contact reference. Chair has included Ukraine on its list of aggressive adversaries, along with Iran and China, per Newsweek article on April 7th. Oh my gosh. Republican National Committee is ridiculous. Я не звідти. Тоді що ми будемо робити? Треба, щоб хтось був звідти. Yeah. Also, you guys, you're not making it easy, Yulia. You have to agree with someone. Well, I mean, like, listen, I'm okay with an EcoFlow. I'm very happy to have an EcoFlow. I don't need a hydroelectric power plant. I don't need a nuclear power plant. I just need a freaking battery that will power my my coffee maker when there is a blackout. Have you met me before I had coffee? Clearly, you have not. I'm not giving up. Thank you, William. Here's the thing, like, you're lucky that you haven't met me before I've had coffee, because if you have, not good. Not good. It's like, it's in the interest of the entirety of the population of Ukraine around me for me to have an EcoFlow. Because, it's a danger to my neighbors. I never seen you having coffee. Yeah, because you don't interact with me in the morning. You know why? You know why I don't interact with people in the morning? You know why I don't interact with people in the morning? There is a reason. There is a reason for that. EcoFlow is easier to carry than a nuclear power plant. How many do you have every day? Coffees? I don't know. I have one in the morning, and then I have like 2, 3 around during the day. You interact with me. Well, Grumpy, it's your morning. It is no longer my morning. А ми наче сусіди з вами, а де ви проживаєте? Тобто, типу, в моєму будинку сусіди? Ви мене побачили в моєму будинку? І чи ви маєте на увазі, що ми недалеко один від одного живемо? I wouldn't get one over 1,000 watts. Чекайте, ви живете в моєму будинку, це смішно. She stops counting after the 5th cup. No, I mean, yeah, kind of. It depends. Like, some days I would also, привіт. Приємно познайомитись, але це також, дуже дивно. I want to see caffeine-free Yewleea. No, caffeine-free Yewleea is not a great sight to see. Like, not at all. Caffeine-free Yewleea is not a happy person. Caffeine-free Yewleea is a danger to my neighbors, and there is apparently a neighbor of mine literally on this live. So yeah. You might want to think about her safety. People who want to see, maybe we'll send you to... No, okay, well, like, see, this is not good. This is not, I don't think that would work that way. People who want to see coffee. Where's Joey? Joey's on a vacation with his wife, and I'm substituting for him. I'm his friend and colleague in terms of speaking about Ukraine. I'm also Ukrainian, and born and raised in Ukraine. I've lived in New York for 13 years. I moved to Kyiv about 3 months ago. And yeah. For some reason, Mrs. is a reminder to have coffee. Hi. I have so much coffee throughout the day, it keeps the people around me safe. Joey's on vacation far away. Come on over and talk it over. People who want to see coffee, people without it. Wait, I'm actually still curious because there is allegedly a neighbor of mine who had seen me because they were like, "Oh, I think we're neighbors," and I was like, "Wait, in my neighborhood or in my building?" And it turns out that it's likely in my building, and now I'm very curious because this is way too close to comfort, but it's okay. So many things that I want to say. Also, you guys, I found the weirdest thing today at Silpo, and you know what? Like, maybe this is normal for people in Europe. I have not seen this in the US, and I bought it because I love cheese. Okay, I love cheese of all types of cheese. Is that music lover neighbor? No, it's a woman. It appears, and they're just. I think that they just saw me somewhere around the building, which is wild. Okay, 1 second. I've never seen this in the US. I bought it because, well, it looked weird. And okay. No, I'm not. Joey's not hacked. I'm Joey's friend. I'm on his live because he asked me to be. So this is cheese, and it's apparently lavender cheese. It is literally purple. Like, this cannot be good, right? Like, this can't be good for you. Like, this can't be real cheese, right? It is legitimately purple. Like, I've seen greenish cheese before. I've seen green cheese before because it has like spinach in it or something, but you know, I bought it because I'm curious. Curiosity made you buy that. Good luck. Yes, curiosity did make me buy that. What does it smell like? I don't know. I actually think it's like in a, you know, I bought it today. You got scammed with the cheese. No, I didn't. Okay. Okay. I'm going to try it actually because I'm very curious. Looks like meat. Yeah, a lot of people said that, but it doesn't because it's actually purple. Okay, well. You know, it doesn't taste. Oh, what is that? It's cheese. Apparently, lavender cheese. Собака. Чекайте, які у вас собаки? А які у вас собаки? Мені тепер справді цікаво. This is actually not bad. It tastes like regular cheese. It's not great. It's also not like not great. This is not very high quality cheese, I'll tell you. Yeah. I mean, I like cheese. It's just not like, it's not great. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but it's very shiny. You know? Yeah. I wouldn't say I'd buy it again. I mean, I'll eat it because I love cheese, and this doesn't taste like anything other than just Це дуже мило. Тут просто дуже багато собак в будинку. Різних. Я кажу, поки моя собака пялиться на мій сир. Good texture for grilled cheese? I don't know. Wait, you're Ukrainian? Yes. Дуже собачий. Мені здається, що тут принаймні 2 собаки на квартиру, в кожній квартирі. А в тій квартирі, в якій немає собак, то, напевно, це тому, що в деяких квартирах по 3. Okay. Sunny is not allowed to have cheese because cheese is actually not good for dogs. It's very it's very okay. It's almost like Cindy heard you. No. But what made you think that it's okay now? You've never been given food like that. Okay, this is not bad cheese. Listen, I'm just gonna tell you, this doesn't taste any different than any subpar cheese. Sydney, you've literally never been given cheese as part of like your life. Why do you suddenly think that you will be getting some? But also, if you were to like steal cheese at some point, this is not the cheese. Like, this is not good, Sin. If you were to try cheese for the first time in your life, I would give you better cheese than that. Wait, the funniest thing? Wait. Body. You cute little baba. You cute little baba. Собака може їсти фіолетовий сир. Собака wants to eat everything. Will Собака eat everything? Absolutely not. Not a thing. Sobaka's health is very important to me, and you know, cheese just doesn't apply. Come here. Oh, you gave up. You gave up, little bud. You gave up, little bud. You gave up. Little buddy. Oh, okay, you guys. It's 2:45 a.m. And no, stop licking my fingers. But yes, we're gonna go to bed because it's about time. I'm not sure Yulia got any cheese either. Blah blah. Okay. Okay, Baba. That is very enthusiastic. I'm not sure I like it. I really don't like that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, thank you for, caring about Ukraine, and thank you for coming to every live and keeping up. And yeah. What time tomorrow? I'm gonna aim for like midnight Kyiv. When is Joey back? Joey is back in 2 days, I think. Okay. Oh, thank you, James. Okay. Bye. Bye, guys. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oop. And bye. Okay, bye-bye.